Hello and welcome to Crypto Bible. My name's Oliver Tompkins, and in today's episode, get excited because I have another great expert in the world of crypto to chat to. His name is Christiaan Eisberg, and he is the founder of StraightFire, a social space for all your NFTs, which we'll talk more about that. But before we get stuck into the episode, you know what to do. Throw me a like, get yourself subscribed to Crypto Bible, and turn on your notification bell icon, ding, so you never miss any of our upcoming episodes. Right, first things first. We also have a competition going. You can win £300 worth of sheep. Go ahead, check it out in the description below. But right now, let's get Chris on. Hello, good morning, Chris. How are you?
Hi, good morning, Oliver. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks ever so much for giving us some time today. I just want to jump straight in. For anyone that doesn't know who you are, can you just briefly tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, most definitely, Oliver. Thanks a lot. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of StraightFire. We are a Web3 company that is basically bridging the real life with the virtual world. And we do this through building the first NFT social dApp. And also we've just recently launched the 12, which is a Metaverse brand.
Sounds very cool. So how did you get into this, Chris? How long have you been working in sort of, I guess, the crypto space, NFTs?
Yeah, so I'm a serial entrepreneur, right? So for the past 20 odd years, I've been setting up and running and selling companies. They were all in the space of, I guess, digital commerce, technology, and also some in fashion and in branding. And about 2 years ago, I got into crypto. And about a year and a half ago, we started to develop the idea of StraightFire. And I guess what we were doing is we were combining our background in the creative world and looking at how a lot of creatives that I work with, right, they were not really rewarded for all the amazing stuff that they were doing. And so suddenly we came across NFTs and how that could empower creatives, and we jumped in like 100% and took it from there.
Okay, fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about this website, because it sounds great and there's a massive hype with NFTs, and even more so now where NFTs have some utility and you can stake, you can get passive income, you can go into play to earn games rather than just a piece of art that people would just screenshot and say, oh, I've got a JPEG of your NFT that didn't do anything. But they're starting to evolve. So your website, let's just say people that are watching this they just kind of understood a little bit about NFTs, but what makes your website so special for NFT holders? What do they do?
Yeah. So I guess that a lot of the criticism on NFTs has been quite rightly so, right? There's been so much around that is, I guess, below par, and I think utility has been lacking a lot. So what we are doing effectively with our mobile app is that we're building a missing piece of the infrastructure that enables you to share your NFTs to the world. Not just the NFTs though, because I think that would be quite boring. But how it works is that you connect your digital wallet, and by the way, it doesn't really matter what digital wallet you have, what blockchain your NFT sits on. It basically enables you to view NFTs from 70 different blockchains in one place. And then from there, you can connect it to all your social media channels. And in the middle, that's where we have developed filters, AR lenses, that enable you to tell your NFT stories to the world. You can add your music. The output is a little video, sometimes 10, 15, 30 seconds, and you can tell a story. So basically, we're providing you with utility. So sometimes it helps you to tell the story of the NFT. Sometimes, if you are in a game and you've been rewarded an NFT because of your status in the game, it enables you to actually show that status to everybody who's interested in you or the game. So I think there's a lot of empowerment for NFT holders to do this. Finally, if you are an NFT creator and you are preparing a drop, you're not really maybe very good at doing the marketing, you can use it as a tool to reach all your socials and all your fans on your socials in one go, basically.
So it's a place where kind of like it will connect all of Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, and with a click of a button, you can set your profile picture, you could share a post, it's connected, and then also you can create or edit these kind of clips and content pieces with your NFTs, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess think Snapchat, TikTok, but then for NFTs.
Right. Okay. Now it sounds interesting. Now, how do you guys make money from that? If people can just go on there, is there a charge to them?
Yeah, so basically it's free of charge. That's I think a great thing. The second is we actually reward you for your sharing. So it's a share to earn model that we have developed. So I think look at traditional social media, right? It's the big tech giant that actually gets better from the whole thing.
Yeah.
With us, you get rewarded. So it's all based on the APIs that we get from the social media channels. That are basically based on retweets, sharing, and stuff like that. So you will be rewarded, and then the payment model will be a little bit later on, where we actually enable you to then mint that NFT story that you shared into a new NFT. So in fact, you also kind of like create like little offspring of your original NFT investment.
Okay.
So what is quite fascinating about that is that for those people that might not really know, an NFT has a smart contract behind it that sits on the blockchain that basically shows you how the NFT behaves. So in it, what we do is we give 60% of the revenue if you sell the NFT to the creator of the NFT story. We give 10% to the original creator of the NFT that was used in the story. We give 10% to the developer of the filter, 10% to the artist whose music is used, and 10% to us. So, we are to a certain extent creating a new creator economy that didn't really exist before.
Right. Okay. So will they be able to sell this on your website as well, right? In like a marketplace that they've minted this NFT.
Yeah, so Oliver, that was the original idea, right? And I think when we
Yeah.
started about a year and a half ago, everything was about being a marketplace, right? Realistically speaking, there are enough marketplaces around, with OpenSea obviously being a very dominant player.
Yeah.
So maybe, never say never, but at the moment we see it purely as a tool, with the potential to open it up as a destination once we have a solid user base where we can open up the user profiles, and therefore it could be an interesting destination for you to explore all these NFT stories that people hold. So I think to a certain extent, what has been going on so far with NFTs is that they were stuck in your digital wallet for nobody to see. We
Yeah.
want to actually, enable a mechanism for you to show the world what you have, and also I guess show yourself as the person owning them.
Yeah, and that it makes sense. I get that, especially for NFTs that, especially at the moment, have no utility, and they are just deemed, an art piece, and they're not staked in, a platform or anything. So I definitely see that rather than just being hidden in a wallet. So you mentioned that they would get paid because of sharing.
Yeah.
What coin would you pay them in, or do they have a choice?
Yeah, so basically we have our own coin, the S-Fire. So you will be remunerated in S-Fire. That's one. But obviously there's a limited number of S-Fires that we have available, right? So
Right.
the scalability is not based on S-Fire, but it's based on NFTs. So we will offer you free NFTs, and we will offer you whitelist spots on NFT collections that are being launched through the app as well. So, we have a big user community because that's the community where we are from. And this is an excellent tool for those NFT creators to start promoting the upcoming drops through through the NFT social dApp. So maybe as an extra functionality, let me share a story with you. So the other day I was having a meeting with one of the biggest producers of Netflix content in Europe. We were talking an idea about a game show where there's a number of people somewhere on an island. What if every contestant on the island is being minted as an NFT? So first of all, you have to make a choice who you think is going to win.
Yeah.
Leading up to the episode, you get special filters developed by the TV program, and those filters you can use to promote the show. First of all. Second of all, if your content is still in the game after the first episode, you get a special winners filter, and you can mint that as an NFT, and therefore create like a whole history of the winnings of your specific contestant, which ultimately, of course, you will have one winner at the end. And I think that NFT could be a dynamic NFT, so you could have all kinds of data, statistics being updated in the actual NFT, and it could double as an entrance ticket to a physical event somewhere. And I think that now we're getting into the real application and utility of what an NFT could be, but also what our social debt could offer you as a company, as a creator. Yeah.
I love that idea, what you just said. I can see that really working because audiences love to be able to interact with their favorite characters from a movie, a reality show.
Yeah.
And as soon as you said sort of filters, if you look at society now, everybody on social media has a favorite filter. And if you can incorporate NFTs in from a show to something like that, then it could be mega.
Yeah, listen, Oliver, I think it's this is I think the very exciting space of NFTs, and I think it takes I guess like last year it was all about like digital art, and I think there's still great examples out there, but I think an NFT could be so much more, and I think the interactive element, and to create dynamic NFTs, that's where it becomes really interesting. And so I think to a certain extent we're trying to build a missing piece of the infrastructure to attract people that currently are maybe not interested in NFTs yet because they have this idea that it's digital art and are not really in it. But the more we link it to their favorite TV show, and we explain that it's just another way of actually buying yourself into this TV show and actually benefiting from it through this social debt, I think then it becomes really like a living thing that is also very recognizable to everybody who's using socials at the moment. And I think it's also solving one of the issues that you have with social media at the moment, is that there's the big tech giants getting better from it, but not the individual. So I think all in all, it is very creator focused, and trying to create the benefit immediately as well. So there's a real use case.
I love that. I think it's a cool way as well for people that maybe just want to make money and go, I think this guy could win. I'm going to invest in this, get an NFT, and if he does win, I've made a bit of money. I think it's a clever idea, like you said, because with social media, it's all about the organization and not so much about the retailers or the people that use it. But if you can link, what we spoke about, I think that's brilliant, and more people can be like, I'm invested in that. I get a little bit of kickback. One thing we should talk about, Chris, is something I'm excited about as well, because I'm a huge gamer. I love a bit of PS4 games. I like to lose. That's my escapism. So NFTs in the metaverse is something that I've always kind of understood, as in having digital ownership of a character, say Mario, and no one else can have it, and he's mine, and I can go in. What are your thoughts on the metaverse and having sort of the linkage for the NFTs from your website and whatnot?
Yeah, so basically how I see the metaverse is that I see it as a continuously changing, first of all, decentralized and creator-driven ecosystem, right? And I think there are no physical or space-time limitations really, but it's a place where humanity and technology, I would say, coexist in a balanced and in a symbiotic relationship. And what's the impact or the usage of NFTs in this is, I think it is a way to remunerate, to reward. It's a way to own, and I think it's a way to be really part of, in this case, like for example, a game. So, it's one thing to like something, it's another thing to share it, but now you can actually buy something. I think that's the ultimate loyal fanship, right? So if I may give you an example, so we've launched this metaverse brand called The 12. It's inspired on the Asian zodiac, where you have 12 animals, and actually it is a metaverse brand that is part of a I guess a gaming story, where they're all embedded someplace on Earth. They're being awoken, and these all these 12 animals, they double also as, and that's basically the question mark. So what we are doing here is, with the user or with the creative community, we are building the narrative of the comic, of the art book, of basically the whole narrative. So we have writers. We have the writer of the game Horizon, who is writing this narrative as well. We are working with some great 3D artists. Everybody who has an interest in gaming like yourself, right, and has some creative abilities, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to be like the best 3D artist in the world, but if you maybe have an interesting storyline to tell, your ideas will be incorporated in the idea. So basically, it's a metaverse brand created for and owned by the community. And I think that's where a lot of the games are going towards. So obviously we're all familiar with the play to earn model,
Yeah.
but I think that the currency in the gaming world will be NFTs here. So I think you will definitely see a shift towards people being rewarded in NFTs. But then of course there should be some utility to it. So it could be a gun that you use in 3 different games. It could be like a digital twin that you can use in Decentraland in some shape or form. Or even it could be a game that takes place in your backyard of the house that you own in Decentraland. I think all these
Yeah.
things are quite exciting. And whatever the metaverse will be, right? I think nobody really knows. The
No.
question is still pretty much out there. But there's so many interesting initiatives there. And I think gaming is a good way of starting, because the gamers, they get this whole idea of metaverse and NFTs immediately.
And community as well, isn't it? Like gamers, community.
Exactly.
So you mentioned Decentraland quite a lot there. So would you say that is the leading, I guess, metaverse coin or platform that's you see doing the best? Because we hear like Sandbox and Mana out of everything.
Yeah. So it reminds me a little bit of so I lived in London for a long time. So the first time I moved over, I had to change all my electricity sockets, well, like all the plugs, right? Because there was no normal fit. I think this discussion about what's the leading one, I think reminds me a little bit of, well, everybody has a different way of using certain things. And we're all aiming for a certain standard. But realistically speaking, I don't think that will happen anytime shortly, simply also because we don't know what the metaverse could be, should be, etc. I think, of course, what these big players and who have the first mover advantage, what they have, of course, is that they already have something that you can actually go into it and you can experience it. So what you now see is a lot of NFT projects, if they develop something to do with 3D, they try to develop a 3D model that works, for example, in Sandbox or in Decentraland, so that you can actually use it again. So yeah, I use it as an example because I think people know it. But I'm also the first to say that if we would identify or define the metaverse based on the technology that we know today, I think we will probably be wrong, because there might be a technology around the corner tomorrow that we don't know about.
Sure.
But so I like to define it based on the one common factor that is there today and will be there tomorrow, and that's us humans. So I think there should be in any place there should be something that evokes our human emotions, and whoever does that the best, I think they will prevail in the end.
So do you think we've spoke about open source and Decentraland? What do you think about how people would adopt a meta, a Facebook meta or a microverse or a Microsoft or a Disney metaverse? Do you think people, because obviously these organizations are going to control it, how do you see that with regards to the metaverse? Do you see it being successful or?
Well, we have this little tagline that says we should have a little bit less meta and a little bit more verse. I think that probably says how I feel about it. I think the basic business model of Facebook and of Insta, is a centralized business model, and fundamentally the industry that we're working in, it's decentralized, which I'm not saying that any single one is better. There's a lot of shortcomings in a decentralized world as well. But I think what is fundamentally different is how we value and reward creativity, the people that operate in it, and I think the business models have been more direct and more transparent. Everybody keeps saying, it's on the blockchain, it's somewhere hidden, crypto. Everybody has this. Well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people who have like a negative connotation with it. I think if you are able to read a smart contract, which of course, I think pretty shortly there will be a company that develops a template that you can put on top of a smart contract so that everybody can read it. But to understand how to read it, everybody can go into on the blockchain and see what you've just developed, what the NFT is about or the token is about. So I think it creates a lot of transparency, and let's face it, for a lot of business owners, transparency is a tricky thing, right? They like to keep a lot of stuff hidden because it also shows how much money do you make. And I must say, I'm perfectly comfortable with sharing with you what our business model is and what's the percentage and where does it go. But yeah, a lot of existing organizations, of course, their business models already existed pre-decentralized world. So yeah, I think if they would open up all their contracts and share with the world how much money they're making and how much money their partners are making, I think that's the reality of this world, right? So you have to be ready for it. Does that mean that they will have no success at all? They probably will have success because they will have their average users will basically have no choice, right, but to adhere to the platform's rules and regulations. But I think in the long run, as you know, right, this crypto, NFT, metaverse space, the people that operate in it, that live in it, it's a different breed. Part of them are very much against the whole centralization.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of the birth of crypto was to give wealth back to the people and not the banks and the governments. So having regulation or a centralized thing is kind of like, this is completely against what crypto is about. But you can see both sides. But
yeah, so that's why we decided, okay, so we can provide a with the dApp, we can provide a connector because people are still on all these social channels. So I think this part I think will still reside in a decentralized world. And it's not so much about how Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg are explaining the metaverse or what meta stands for. It's what they're not telling. And what they're not telling is exactly what you, me, and everybody who works in our industry stands for. So I think they're pretty successful in explaining it to the people who are not in NFTs and crypto yet. But the ones who are already in it, they listen to it, and quite frankly, they think it's a bit of bullshit. But I
totally get that. So if anyone's obviously when watching this episode and they're thinking, oh, this website sounds cool, this website's is open at the moment, can people physically go on? What is it?
www.straightfire.space. So basically we're launching the beta version in the middle of May. We are currently in the final private round with a planned TGE at the end of 2Q. So the Metaverse brand first NFT collection is launching at the end of next month. A lot of exciting things happening, and I think for a lot of the viewers that are watching and thinking, okay, so what is the stage of what like of the NFT world? And I think we're year 3 of the internet, and we're accessing the internet through a Yahoo portal. We don't know what's going to happen, but I think there's a lot of excitement and exciting things happening, and even in a bull market, which, let's face it, I think there's a lot of volatility in the market at the moment, not only in crypto, but I guess in the world in general. We are actually very confident because of the quality and the real utility that we're building. I think we're definitely not a hype project, and there's plenty of those around. We're definitely not a hype token. There's plenty of those around. So I think for us it's quite exciting times, and I think the end of 2Q will be mostly where our peak is.
That's cool. We'll have to have a little catch up and see how you're getting on. I just want to talk to you briefly a little bit about the crypto world, because you said they used to deal in it and whatnot. What coins did you, when you first got into crypto, what coins did you like? I always like to ask people their opinion, not financial advice to anyone, but just what their picks are, what they think are good coins, basically.
So Oliver, I think probably like everybody, I've gone through the cycle of getting completely hyped by the smallest altcoins and going pancake swap and going down that route, and then having it completely wrong. Then I've gone into stable coins. I've tried options. I've tried the whole futures, the whole thing. I think ultimately what I've resided to is I've gone a little bit more longer term. And I think what's done really well is, for example, Solana. Polygon I really like, but I'm a bit biased because they were our first backers.
Right.
So I think that type of coins. What I'm really excited about is the blockchain gaming companies, and
Yeah.
there's quite a few around. And of course, it's still a bit of cherry picking there, and maybe there's a bit of a gamble there. But I sincerely think that for gaming, for example, that is the immediate future, and I think those are the ones that are going to do well.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's interesting you said that. Like, I think always a lot of people always say utility and mention a few sort of blockchain coins, but you didn't mention Bitcoin and Ether, which I thought you might have said. But some
Yeah, so
people,
for me, that is I guess the longer term investment that
yeah,
I truly believe in. I think that the way I do it is, if I make a profit and I want to take it out, it goes into either Bitcoin or Ethereum, because I
yeah,
believe in the long term like utility or future of it. Yeah.
and a lot. There's a ton of good press with Bitcoin from big guys. Steve Wozniak from Apple came out and said it's going to be 500K within 4 years. You got Catherine Wood saying she thinks 100K. So everyone's kind of saying, oh, it's going to be 100K pretty soon. ETH's going to be like 10K. So it does seem at the moment that everyone's kind of hyping it up, which is interesting, and because it is starting to pump a little bit more when I checked this morning. But yeah, long term hopes. So what would your advice be to any new sort of young, fresh entrepreneurs about to come into the crypto game, and they're looking to make their first investment in NFTs, crypto, metaverse? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I think, you have to be in it to win it, right? So I think you have to immerse yourself really into this industry. So I'm not saying that I did the right thing, but I tried to understand on how to make a graph, because if I knew that if I could make one, I could read one. Still,
Yeah,
did that help me to predict the next day? Maybe not, but at least I knew what the risks are, right? And I think that is quite something that people have to be familiar with. Is It's not a scary world. It maybe has a different risk profile, but at the same time, I think it will help you to steer clear a little bit of FOMO. And obviously, FOMO is part of this world, and I think sometimes it's like the Wild West, the gold rush. But realistically speaking, the people that do really well and the professionals that work in it daily, they sometimes feel a little bit of FOMO, but they hardly act on it. And I think that is something that you have to get more comfortable with. So for the NFT market, right, I think go on these websites that have these NFT calendars there, and you find your project that looks or sounds good, right? You do your proper research. I think like last year, everybody who had a great idea or could maybe draw something beautiful, they could launch an NFT collection. I think those days are long gone. Now your project has to be doxed. They need to know exactly who you are. There's been a lot of fraud, so you need to provide a lot more detail, and there's a lot of research you can do on your own, and
yeah,
then you have to join a Discord somewhere. You have to kind of like be active, get whitelisted if that's what you're interested
yeah.
in. And I think what is quite interesting is, once you are immersed in it, you will find out whether you like it or not, and what you like. But yeah, that is probably my advice.
It's Yeah, no, that's good. And as soon you immerse yourself into it, you find that you got less time because there's just so much going on, and it's kind of you get involved with these NFT projects, and a lot of them that have utility have big plans. So their discords are literally going mad every day, and you're catching up. But I think, like what you said, if you fully immerse yourself into it, you can kind of spot what you deem to be a good investment or a good project off your own back, because there's a lot of influencers, big influencers that are getting paid tons of money that they don't even know what they're kind of backing, but
Yeah.
a few have sort of got themselves in a little bit of trouble because they've been involved with organizations that then all of a sudden have just rug pulled because they know what influencers can do and how they can sell. So I think it's really important to do your research, because let's face it, people want a quick thing, and they can be lazy, right? But as soon you have to put the work in.
Yeah, I fully agree, Oliver. I think, there have been these NFT projects that were ramping up from 0 to 400,000 Discord members in a matter of days, right? I think realistically speaking, if you're not well versed, if you're not well connected in the NFT world, that's not the project necessary that you have to jump into, right? You will not be the one that gets whitelisted. It's you can have a look and experience what it is, but it's quite intense to be part of a community that big. I think there's plenty of smaller projects that are looking for more dedicated, maybe relationships. I think what I found a lot of interesting ways of getting into this industry is to become like a community manager on one of the Discords. If you're really into a project, I think every project could use one, or you just approach a startup. If you have something interesting to offer, there's a lot of people interested in people, and to find great people, that's always difficult, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh gosh, but no, it's a very interesting topic, isn't it? And for those that are just getting into it, it's a lot of information to take on. But when you start breaking down, you find areas that you like, and I think that's the same with kind of like crypto as well. When you find a coin, you actually go, "Oh, this is quite good. I like this." And if you're interested in it, it's easier to invest because then you've got a link to it because it's an interest to you rather than a coin that's, oh, I just want to make money. Because there's a lot of these, obviously a lot of investors out there that want to make a quick buck, and then the volatility of crypto and is where it can you can get upset. But anyway, am I still there? Have you?
Yeah, you're still there. Yeah,
you've gone a bit of a. I think it's what's the word? Frozen.
Oh yeah, no, I'm still here. Yeah.
Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. All right, cool. I think it was just a bit of a frozen on the connection.
Okay.
Cool. All right, then. Well, I just wanted to say it'd be great to catch up in Q2 with you and see, how Straight Fire's performing and whatnot. Thanks ever so much for chatting with me today.
Thanks a lot, Oliver. Really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed the talk.
Okay, brilliant. All right, I'll take care. I'll speak to you in a minute. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Well, there you go. Chris Eisberg there, or Eisberg, sorry, don't want to get his name wrong. Talking about the website Straight Fire. It sounds very interesting. The world of NFTs at the moment is massive, isn't it? If you're interested in it, make sure you do your research. Let me know what you think about the episode. Throw me a like, get yourself subscribed to Crypto Bible, and turn on your notification bell icon. And don't forget, we've got that £300 worth of Shiba Inu that you can win in our competition. Once again, thanks for listening to me and Chris for today, and I'll see you on the next one.